Tonight on Thursday Night Football, the undefeated Dolphins take on Burrow and the 1-2 Bengals. Tua is questionable with his injuries.
Yeah.
But I like the Dolphins a lot this game still.
Yeah, you were shocked back before you retired from gambling.
Yeah.
When it was, midday Sunday instead of end of the day Sunday.
Yeah.
And you were on fire. You were looking at this week's lines and you were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The Dolphins are underdogs. And at that point, they were 2.5-point underdogs.
Right.
They are now 3.5 or 4-point underdogs. The line shifted even more towards Cincinnati, depending on where you get it. Go ahead.
Yeah. You lost 50 to me last week on the gambling show.
Oh, you know what? You're right about that. Let me pay that debt right now. Hold on.
No, wait, hold on. Do you want to do double or nothing?
I thought you quit gambling.
I mean, this isn't on the app, so.
Oh, okay. So gambling with me still allowed.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want the Dolphins straight up, or you want me to give you the points? You want me to give you the points. Say you want me to give you the points.
I want you to give me the points.
Okay, there you go. Good
yeah, exactly.
It wouldn't be fair for you otherwise. So here's the thing.
One thing, Tua, I think there's got to be some set rules here. If Tua's not playing,
no, we can call the bet off.
Wait a minute.
But Tua's gonna play.
Okay.
But if he plays and he's ineffective, it's not like, oh, it's unfair.
Yeah, of course.
No, listen, here's the deal. And this is yes, listen, I'll give you the full 4 points, even though I think it's gonna go off at 3.5. I don't think that's actually a great bet by me. I think this line's just about right. I do expect Cincinnati to win, but sure, double or nothing. I've got Cincinnati -4. You've got Miami +4. If Cincinnati covers, we're even. If not, then I owe you $100. No problem.
Sweet.
So here's the deal. And this is where we have to be very careful about what we're seeing and what we know and don't know about the NFL. Miami's been an unbelievable story. And Miami, to their credit, is not only one of 2 undefeateds, but they have beaten, in my opinion, 2 of the best teams in football.
Yep.
I think Baltimore's excellent. That's their only loss. I think the Bills are excellent. That's their only loss. Miami beat them both. We also, though, cannot overreact to records this early in the season when judging the strength of teams. So here's what I mean. Cincinnati in week 1. Yes, it's a bad loss because Pittsburgh's not good. But how many things had to happen for them to lose that game? They had to miss a chip shot field goal. They had to have an extra point blocked. Boswell had to hit a bomb at the end of overtime. The Dallas game, they played terribly. Despite all that, they had the ball late in the fourth quarter with the game tied. Couldn't get it done. Cooper Rush beats them. Either of those games easily could have been a Bengals win, and they're 2-1. Don't even say both of them. Just say one of them.
One of them.
Okay. Now to Miami. It took a historic fourth quarter comeback and a dropped interception by Baltimore and multiple secondary injuries for Miami to beat Baltimore. And then it took a truly unprecedented confluence of events of Buffalo having the ball for 40 minutes, Miami having it for 20. Buffalo gaining nearly 500 yards, Miami not gaining 250 yards. For Miami to still be hanging on in the final moment of the game where Buffalo ran out of time by 3 seconds because they couldn't handle the situation. I think it's fair to say Miami easily could be 2-1. And if both of these teams were 2-1, no one would bat an eye at Cincinnati at home being 3 to 4 point favorites. So it's a little misleading. Misleading's the wrong word.
Yeah.
It can be, go ahead.
I'm not in on Cincinnati. I just don't think.
I think that's totally fair. And by the way, I said going into the year, Cincinnati was not as good as a Super Bowl appearance suggests. They were a 10-win team last year. They could have lost the first playoff game to the Raiders. They should have lost the second playoff game to the Titans. They definitely should have lost their third playoff game to the Chiefs. And they did lose their fourth playoff game in the Super Bowl. However, I believe that Cincinnati and Miami are about equivalent teams.
Okay.
So I think right now in the AFC, you have the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. And I know Miami beat Baltimore, so it seems unfair. But you have the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens as the only 3 teams in the conference that I would be shocked if they missed the playoffs. There's those 3. Then you have a group of Miami. I want to go division by division. Miami, Cincinnati, Cleveland, I've got to include in it because Cleveland is a team that should be 3-0 if they don't gag that Jets game away. So Miami, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Jacksonville, and the Chargers, even though the Chargers are so banged up. We'll talk about them in a minute. In that next group of teams. And then in the group right beneath that is where you have Denver, Indy. I would include the Raiders, even though they're 0-3. I think the Raiders are going to be viable. And if you want to include Tennessee or Pittsburgh, you can. I don't think Miami is drastically better than Cincinnati. The one way to make Cincinnati look really bad is to have a ferocious pass rush. Miami does not have that. Melvin Ingram's the only person on their team that's gotten any pressure on quarterbacks all year. And it's going to be, from a pass rush perspective, far more similar for Cincinnati to the Jets game they just played than to their first two games against Dallas and Pittsburgh. I do like Cincinnati tonight, and I think America is going to, in 3 weeks, look back and say, remember when people were pretending they thought Miami was the best team in football? And I think everyone's going to listen. They are going into the year. I thought they were a 9-8 team and going to be the last team out of the playoffs, the best team that doesn't make the playoffs.
Right.
Going into the year, I thought the Bengals were going to be a 10-11 win team, wild card, and one of the last teams in the playoffs. If Miami wins this game, that flips it because now it's 4-0. Cincinnati's 1-3, and Miami would have the tiebreaker. I like Cincinnati tonight. We'll see what happens. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.